I'm here today with Noland, and Noland is a mental health counselor and been doing this a long time, and you've done it with all kinds of age groups, but now you specialize in senior counseling. Is that correct?
That is correct. Seniors to me are the forgotten population of our society. They reach a point where they're retired and people think you're a senior, you're of no use anymore, just go away. What I do when I meet with seniors, first of all, is to let them know I'm not a Freudian counselor. I'm not going to put them on the little couch, not going to sit at their head and ask them about their dreams or what their relationship was with mommy and daddy. That's not what I do at all. Primarily, when I first meet with them, is just to get to know them. We just carry on a normal conversation about anything and everything. Seniors, first of all, trust is a huge issue. They're sitting there looking at you thinking, what can you tell me that I don't already know?
Right.
And some seniors, especially from the greatest generation to ever live, they are of the opinion we survived a Great Depression, we survived World War II. You know, we take care of our own problems. We don't talk to anybody about what's going on with us. We take care of them ourselves. So a lot of my main focus is on the baby boomer generation, which I'm a part of. I'm a senior at 65. My wife's 71, so we're in that age group. So after let's say 5-6 sessions, we sit down and begin working on what they're dealing with. Depression is one of the biggest issues with seniors right now. You know, seniors mostly live on Social Security. Very few had the opportunity to have a 401k or have a savings plan to put money in. So that Social Security is the only source of income that they have. In today's society, as we know, everything is going up except for their Social Security pay. So there's times with some seniors they have to decide what is the most important thing. Medication is usually covered, but things like food, utilities, things of that nature, doesn't go very far. You take a senior that's on $800. Let's say rent is $500. That other $300 has to buy your food and pay for all your utilities, plus your co-pays on your medicine.
Right.
And that can cause not only anxiety and panic attacks, it causes depression. They're sitting there thinking to themselves, I've worked hard all these years, and now nobody remembers me. I need help. Where do I turn? That's where the case managers that work with me come in very handy. They have resources that they can pull on and that they can put people in touch with to get help with things like medications. CDSA here in Enid is very good to help people with medication, especially seniors. Senior needs a ramp. They do have funding, not all the time, but generally most of the time, they can get that senior a ramp. If they're a veteran, there is even possibilities there of getting a ramp put in place, especially if they're disabled. There's plenty of food pantries, of course, here in Enid that can fix them up with food. But what happens if the senior is a shut-in, they don't drive?
Right.
That's where our case managers come in once again. They go the additional mile to make sure that senior has what they have. So they will go and get groceries for them. We have agencies like RSVP that offers meals. Of course, there's a $68 charge a month, I believe, for that. And that's, if you think about it, 30 meals a month, that's not bad.
Right.
And my mother herself is on those meals. I pay for them, and Mother enjoys them very much. And they recently had a program where Tyson's Food had food help that they gave the retired seniors. And RSVP took my mother, she had a big bag of Jimmy Dean's sausages and all sorts of things that she was excited to get.
Right. So most people don't come to you on their own. They're referred to you by someone, or how does that usually look?
Generally, they're mostly referred. RSVP is very good to work with us. If they have a senior that they see as having problems, they will contact us. A lot of times, a lot of the work we do is pro bono. We don't charge for it. Myself and especially the case managers, we see this as a ministry, a way of giving back to those that have given so much to us.
Right, and you kind of retired, didn't you? And then you come out of retirement to do this?
I was in the field for many years and decided I'd heard enough and seen enough and retired out of it. In 2019, while I was sitting in my easy chair, relaxing, just reading a book, the Lord spoke to me and said, "Hey, you need to go back to work." And I just kind of laughed and said, "Why? I've got it really good right now. I don't need to. I don't need the income." "No, you need to go work with senior citizens and homeless people." So
well, that's great. And so let's talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is isolation and the effects that it has on seniors, because I think that there's a lot of people that may be watching us right now that have very little idea about the how detrimental to health that isolation is.
Isolation for a senior is a horrible thing. The only thing a senior has is time. Time has no meaning because where do they go? What do they have to do besides the occasional doctor's appointment? That's all. Isolation is hard in the fact that it causes depression. When we were created and formed, we were meant to be with others. We were not meant to be alone. We were created to be around other people and to do things. Many seniors, due to lack of transportation, can't get to places like church or the bingo hall. So isolation will turn into depression. Many times, we all get that telemarketer call. We're calling you about your extended car warranty. Sometimes those seniors will talk to those people just to have somebody to talk to. In my opinion only, that's why many seniors are scammed out of money, because they just needed to hear that voice.
And so I got an elderly parent, and I call them once a day, and they seem fine to me. What would you say to that person there?
You can call them up, and a parent is not going to tell you if there's something going on. First of all, the first thing that parent's going to tell you, I don't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a problem to you. I think calling once a day is wonderful, but I think what's even better, especially if they live in town with you, is to go on the average of 2 or 3 times a week just to drop in, take them a shake or a malt from Brahms, or pick them up a hamburger. Just go spend some time with them and give them the gift of time, of your time.
So some of our listeners may be at that age where they're getting ready to retire, and maybe they're single now because of widowhood or something. And how important would it be for them to have, say, a bucket list?
To me, it's very important. Through life, we all have things we want to do. And I think if there's a way of doing that thing, they should do it. If travel is one of their things they want to do, then get with a group and travel with a group. Go see the things and do the things you want to do before you reach the age where you physically cannot.
I've got a couple people in my life that are like 78 years old, and they go 90 miles an hour. And I say that's probably the secret to their going, is that they never sat down in front of a TV and just kind of gave up. Do you see people that it seems like they lose their identity when they lose their job or when they retire?
When they retire, they do lose their identity. It comes down to a point, who am I now?
Right.
I can remember a lady once told me, when I was young, all the parents needed me to watch their kids. But now that their kids are raised, I'm no longer needed. And that was very hard on them. So being needed and being felt like you're needed is important.
So we're coming down to the end of our time here. Any words of advice for maybe a child that's their parents, they start to see that, hey, my parents are isolating. Maybe they still can drive, they still could get out. There are many volunteer opportunities around town. Would you suggest that for a senior, should they try to do their best to stay active?
I think a senior needs to stay active, because the more active they are, the more active their mind is. The more active they are, they're not going to sit around and think.
Right.
That is one of the biggest dangers to a senior, is to sit around and think about things. Because the more you think, the mind is automatically going to give you what you're thinking.
And it seems like we've got a lot of stinking thinking, don't you think? We kind of tend to lean towards the negative sometimes.
It's as I tell everybody, it's easy to find the negative.
Right.
It's much harder to find the positive.
So anyone that's dealing with a mental health issue, or has a senior maybe that's dealing with a mental health issue, they can call you at the number there on the screen, and you'll answer, to the best of your ability, their questions?
Right. They will call and get a hold of our office manager, who in turn will get a hold of me immediately. And I pride myself within calling people within 8 hours after I receive the text or the message. And we'll just talk to them, see what we can do. And you know, the biggest fear for some senior, I want to throw this in, that means I'm going to have to take more medication.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Just because you have depression doesn't mean you have to start taking medication. With a lot of our therapies now, they're based on cognitive behavioral, which is just change your way of thinking. Once we change your way of thinking, the depression regresses and goes away without medication.
Well, great. Noland, I've really enjoyed being with you today and visiting with you, and hope people caught something today that will, help them in this journey through life. And then we got the phone number up there that they can call if they need any additional information.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.